My name is James Meissner. I'm the guest services manager at Crystal Bridges. So ultimately, my role is to create an engagement for every guest that comes into the building. Our mission is to celebrate the American spirit in a setting that combines both the power of art with the beauty of nature. And one of the results of that is creating a very nature-centric architecture in order to combine those elements. Our main lobby space is actually composed of about 3 different areas. We have our guest service counter pods, the activity wall, and then our rotunda, which is actually the area that guests enter into from the outside.
My name is Jessie Wright. I'm the Solar Control Solutions Department Manager with Draper Incorporated. This project originated with Safdie Architects. They had a very strong vision for what they wanted to accomplish within the dome space of this project. They knew that they wanted sail shades, they wanted them to meet in the middle of the dome, and they knew exactly what they wanted to accomplish. They just didn't know how to engineer the solution, and they knew that Draper had the capabilities to make that happen. Typically with a project like this, shades are designed to kind of disappear. They're designed for a very functional purpose of cutting glare or reducing solar heat gain. But this situation was actually very unique in that the architect really wanted to bring forward a solution that did accomplish those functional elements, but was also incredibly beautiful and added as a showcase to the space.
My name is Stephen Russell. My sister and I are co-owners of Russell Interiors, which is a business that's been around for over 35 years servicing the shade market in the Oklahoma area. The scope of this project was 12 very large sail shades. A sail shade meaning it was 12 to 13 feet wide at the base, narrowing down to about 2 feet at the top, cut on a trapezoid and designed to have a hanging element to it that met the architect's desire for this pillowed look in the dome.
When you have a large glass ceiling, it traps that ambient heat. So being able to actually close the blinds and cut off some of that heat coming through that allows us to create the correct temperature to make guests feel more comfortable.
One of the biggest challenges in the dome space was making sure that our fabric was aligning properly to the hem bar so that it would lay perfectly as those shades were deploying.
On this project, I had the opportunity to build a full-size mock-up at Draper's shop in Spiceland, Indiana, and work with the team up there to kind of get a rep on building one and installing one and knowing exactly how complicated this was going to be. Another complicated element of that job was having all of the rollers and all of the bases of these shades concealed behind the circular base at the dome and making sure that there wasn't any interruptions in the flow of the shade during operation hitting that little parapet wall up there around the circle.
One of the things we realized very early on was during sunset with the Draper blinds closed, it creates almost a sunburst effect onto the floor. Then as the sun's setting, that actually kind of goes up the wall of the museum into the window, creating like a reverse sunset effect. It's one of the key components when a lot of guests come in, they would sit in the main lobby for the entire time. They're just going up the wall.
When I walk into the dome, these shades are awe-inspiring. Typically, shades are meant to be shrinking violets, and these certainly are not.
I was able to go by and see it after the fact. You guys did a great job. The team here did a great job.
Upon successful completion of the shades in the dome, Draper was actually engaged to solve an issue that cropped up at Walker Landing. So in Walker Landing, there is a beautiful outdoor event space that has overhead shading, but it became apparent that there was a glare problem because the sun was reflecting off of the water behind the space and causing a glare issue for the performers who were in the space.
Especially as the sun's setting on the west side of the building, you would have that direct sunlight coming right onto Walker Landing. If we did have events going on into the evening hours and they were during sunset, it just wasn't creating the environment that we needed for guests to experience.
Draper designed a custom sloped shade specifically to address the glare issues in the space.
The uniqueness about that project is the steel is cantilevered over the lake. And so we had to work with the team and install that shade off of some floating platforms that were brought in order for the steel erector to do his work and then for us to come behind and put the shades on behind it.
Several factors make this outdoor shade unique. One of the main things is being able to span this width in an outdoor shade, particularly in being able to keep this width in such a small profile at the head box at the top. Another thing that makes this unique is its use of a telescoping hem bar. It's a trapezoidal shape, and so to be able to run the shade on tracks at the side and to be able to engage the outdoor shade in the side tracks and keep the shape of the trapezoid, we were able to use a telescoping hem bar specifically designed to allow the shade to stay taut when necessary and still retract fully. So Draper's work at Crystal Bridges is not complete. We've had such great success on our first phase that we are actually moving into the second phase, and we're really looking forward to working with our trusted partners again.
You realize how lucky we are to actually just be in this environment, let alone work in it. I often tell guests when we're having conversations about this area is who else has an office space like this?